Well, only 7 weeks to go until Christmas, but the 2024 World Cup season isn't quite finished. Welcome to Miyazaki in Japan for the penultimate race of the season. My name's Trevor Harris, alongside me, Helen Jenkins. One name stands out a mile, Helen. Gwen Jorgensen, second here last year, behind Bianca Seregni, but I don't think too many would bet against her going one better this morning.
No, she comes in as the favourite, doesn't she? She's had a really impressive season. She's improved almost every race throughout the season, and she'd be loving to finish her season with a win here. We've also got Jolie Vermeulen with number 2, and she won her first ever World Cup gold 2 weeks ago in Tonyong. So she's going to be someone that's contending for that win. But again, it's a really varied start list all the way down. We've got Erica Rackland in there, Elisa Koenig, Sian Rainsley, and Elisa and Sian both have won World Cup medals this year as well. So there are some contenders in there too. It's not going to be easy for Gwen Jorgensen, but she is definitely the favourite coming in.
So away they go, the penultimate World Cup race of the season underway. 29 women. A couple seem to struggle a little bit towards the back of the field very early on, getting the run and then into the actual stroke on the first few strokes of the swim. But one of those who is prominent straight away is Beatrice Manozzi of Italy, wearing number 21. We have one woman who's 2 or 3 lengths clear the remainder, and then there's quite a large group, maybe a dozen or so swimming together.
I think that might be Marta Kropko there from Hungary. She's wearing number 18 today, so she's a fantastic swimmer. She came just under 23 World Championships, got a top 10. She was in the relay there, that junior under 23 mixed team relay, which was one of the most exciting races of the weekend, that Grand Series final. It really was. So we've got Jolene Vermeulen, Marta Kropko at the front. Yes, Erica Rackland tucked in there, Yuka Takahashi's in there, Sian Rainsley. So a lot of our top-ranked athletes. That is one of the Irish athletes there as well. So I do think that's Holly Elliott, or it could be Erin McConnell.
I didn't see Gwen in that first maybe 7 or 8. She might be just a little bit further back. So 9.5 minutes there or thereabouts as the leaders come out. Definitely no Gwen Jorgensen in the top 8 there, I don't think.
Just off the back of it there.
There she is,
so
yeah.
She's very close.
So Vermeulen to her bike. Here comes Gwen on the right of your screen. But Vermeulen is away, so she's got a little bit of an advantage here over the American.
And I would look for where Jess Fulliger is and what she's doing. She's going to be the athlete that is one of the instigators of a bike push at the front. She's going to really get to the front, try and drive it initially. She's the athlete you're going to have to try and stick close to.
And this is potentially a chance for the likes of Vermeulen and Rainsley and Fulliger and Koenig, if they can just increase that gap over the chasers that include Gwen Jorgensen. They got a chance of at least maybe trying to negate her run speed a little bit by getting a start, but still very early days on the first lap of the bike. This leading group as they set out on their second lap of 5. Yeah, they're definitely closing.
Yeah, we've got Emma Jeffcoat on the front of that second group. She's doing a brilliant job there, really driving hard. Look, she's managed to pull back a bit of time into that lead pack. There's only actually 5 seconds between the back of the front pack and then Emma Jeffcoat leading the second pack. There's Vermeulen, so she's now into this second group. Gwen Jorgensen at the back of this group.
I think Malozzi of Italy is also in there with Holly Elliott of Ireland.
Oh, look, I think we're just about to join these two groups together.
Which is hugely significant in terms of Gwen Jorgensen's gold medal chances, because now she's exactly where she wants to be, about halfway through lap 2. So there you got confirmation that there are 17 in the lead group, and as you say, Helen, nearly a minute and a half back to the chases.
And they're trying this group at the front. It is breaking up. I mean, it'll probably all come back together, but definitely putting the pressure on those weaker athletes, and they're really having to work for this. Not able to sit in a group and just cruise around. We see it single file there. there are athletes struggling at the back. It might be Julie Vermeulen again and Gwen Jorgensen just really getting exposed on that section out of transition where some of the athletes are really pushing the pace. They're going to get on again now on the dead turn. They can almost relax. They know that dead turn's coming up and they'll be back on the back. But they are being exposed to those when the pressure's on. This larger pack now, just a little bit of positioning. I think Siva Milan's positioned herself into the middle now. She really doesn't want to get exposed around the dead corners, the more technical sections.
Yeah, there are a few quizzical looks, aren't there? A few women looking at each other, and there goes Gwen. Straight up on the outside towards the front now, the American.
You saw everyone follow her there as well, so you have to be aware when you're in the pack. You saw there was that big sort of shift and follow over, so being really aware of who's there, not overlapping wheels, especially when there's some less experienced athletes in the field.
Well, oh, that was nasty. I think McConnell's okay. I'm not sure if the bike hit anybody else.
She left her shoe, so she's going to have to go back from that. That was lucky it didn't affect anyone else.
Just shows, doesn't it? One lapse of concentration, anything can happen. So
Where's
full of
Jorgensen? What's happened to Gwen?
She came in last.
Maybe got stuck
There she is, yeah.
I knew she came in last, but it seemed like a really long time for her to come in.
Well, she's away, but with work to do.
It's a really nice run course here in Miyazaki as well. It's quite twisty-turny, it's quite flat, really pretty. Some of the athletes really enjoy kind of this kind of course where it's a little bit on and off rather than this sort of straight out and back. Vermeulen's up there. Yuka Takahashi as well. She's up there in that top 5 so far. Look for Malozzi further back too. I'd expect to see her running well. She has improved and I think got a little bit of confidence from that top 10 in Tonyung as well.
There you see it, more than 2 minutes now back to those chasers. And Gwen was 15 seconds back, coming out of transition after having a fall in T2. So the challenge has been thrown down to Gwen. Well, she's thrown it down herself, really. The other thing that we don't know, as you said, is whether she actually hurt herself at all when she went down. Because if she's okay, you'd think a 15-second gap is not beyond her powers of recovery. I think
that's just
you just see her in the background there. Well, she's got them in her sights, but still work to do, because they're deep into their first lap now on this 5K run. Gwen's now into 6th place, behind those leading 5.
I think it's still about a 15-second gap.
Koenig's done really well. She's got back in front of Vermeulen now.
Yeah, I think these two, is Vermeulen put a push in, which has splintered that front group. Now Koenig's taking it on. I think you've got that incentive now, right? We've got this gap. We know Jorgensen's coming. We've just got to go. We've got to keep pushing.
We might be in for a bit of a thrilling finish here with the Jorgensen Express trying to chase down Koenig and Vermeulen. Looks fairly certain that, Gwen's going to get past those two in 3rd and 4th momentarily. There she is, now chasing down Vermeulen to try and get herself into the silver position, and then she's still got work to do after that if she wants to get to Koenig.
And I know Jorgensen was really disappointed to get that silver here last year, so she'd be really annoyed to have another silver here, or bronze. She really wanted to come here and get that win. Oh, Koenig's got to... She's got to hang on now, isn't she? I wonder if she knows how close it is. And Milan's going to try and stay with her as well.
She's cutting down the gap to Alyssa Koenig almost by the metre now. Look at the power of Jorgensen. We saw this, a decade ago, when she dominated the sport for so long. 2 World Championships, Olympic gold in Rio. And she is coming hard at Alyssa Koenig and narrowing that gap dramatically. Vermeulen looks like she's suffering a little bit, but she's still got a very comfortable cushion back to the three women in 4th, 5th and 6th.
It's 3 seconds between Koenig and Jorgensen. It's so close.
So now Jorgensen is desperately trying to get to Koenig. This is going to be potentially a fascinating finish. Koenig trying to hang on. Jorgensen is on the sprint. Can Koenig hold on? Jorgensen is still coming. And it looks like the American is going to get there. She has had to work so hard. Koenig has a look back. She can't get to Gwen again, I don't think. There's a huge gap back. Jorgensen wins, and she does it the hard way. Silver for Koenig. And Vermaelen is desperately, almost treading water, back in 3rd to get the bronze. But what an effort from Gwen Jorgensen. It's an 5th World Cup win since her comeback, an 8th podium. Vermaelen holds on for the bronze. And Sian Raisley is going to come home for a very respectable 4th, just ahead of Takahashi for 5th. What a finish. She left it late, very late, but she just about got there.
Yeah, that was close. Really close. And Elisa Koenig just couldn't quite do anything, could she, in that last 50 metres or so.
Decent result for Ackland as well.
Yeah, Erica Ackland finishing there in 7th position. Melosi with an 8th. Almeida from Portugal with 9th.
I think
Hayashi, the junior, with the top 10.
She'll be delighted with that,
Yeah.
I reckon.
And the second Japanese athlete, which is a big deal, you know, with those kind of older athletes coming in.
Look at this sprint going on Jeffcoat and Kropko, and Jeffcoat is going to prevail just about, is she? Kropko came back in, I'm not sure. I'll have a look at a photo for that one. Another look at that fabulous finish. Jorgensen getting to Koenig in the last 100 metres or so.
Congratulations. Just when you think a race is kind of done and dusted and where it's going to go, something like that happens. You did it the hard way.
Yeah, you know, it happened pretty much in the middle of the race. I felt like I made this entire race just harder than it needed to be, and I think the theme of today was just never giving up. I put myself in a lot of bad situations, and I could have given up easily, and I just kept telling myself, just race. Is this as hard as you got right now? Yeah, you know, there was a moment, and I was like, oh, podium's good enough. And I'm like, Gwen, stop. Race. Give me the best in this moment. And, you know, Alyssa really made me work for her. You know, I caught her, and then she kind of sprinted kind of early, like when we got to the dismount line. And I was like, oh, man, if she can keep this up, I don't know if I'll be able to do it. So, yeah, I just kind of kept in it and gave my all.
And you came here because you had more racing in you this season. You wanted to keep going. Like, I mean, that's a hell of a way to round out the season and prepare for next one.
Yeah, you know, I think there's a lot of things that happened today that, you know, in triathlon, you can't predict what's going to happen, and I think today was a perfect example of that. And so I'm really proud that I never gave up, and fought to the finish.
But you could hear her coming behind you.
Yeah, I could hear her. Like, there's a lot of corners out there, and yeah, I was very aware of it. Yeah.
And how the bike out there, like the pace was kind of on and then off. It was people were yo-yoing off the back a little bit. You were kind of trying to push the pace, but none of the brakes ever stuck.
I think in the beginning we were like 5 or 6 that really tried to when we had the small gap, but once the whole group came together, I think everyone like stopped to work, and I also knew, okay, there's a lot of good runners in the pack, so I just back off a bit. I tried to still like go or like stay in the front if someone would attack, but I was aware I need my energy on the run. This season is definitely way more than I expected. Yeah, last year this time I was thinking to just stop with the sport, and I worked so hard on myself, and it really pays off, and I would have never expected that, and I'm so happy to even have the second podium now, and I'm just so happy. I don't have words for this season, so I just enjoy it off season now, and then I'm very excited for the next season.
Very happy with the podium, and she chased me down really, like at the first U-turn of the run. I looked back and I saw her, but like really far away, and I thought, damn, she's having a really bad transition, as in, how did she do it so bad? But then the finish, I saw that she crashed, and she was like, but I also told her, like, did you have a terribly bad transition? She was like, no, I crashed. I'm too honest, I shouldn't say those things to people, but yeah. Yeah, the swim went great, actually. I was very happy with that. And that moment, I still thought that I was going to have a good day. Like, and then we started biking. And I don't know if, like, everybody watched the race a little close, but the bike didn't went great.
There was definitely some Rome vibes, kind of a bit of yo-yoing off the back, and I mean, there's a sense that you're not making these too easy for yourself.
Hey, it wasn't tactics. I really try, but I don't know, the left corners, I really should practice them again. And also I thought I was pushing a lot of power, and I was like, but apparently not as much as the front, because Elisa said we were also pushing very hard at the front. And like at the finish, I told Jessica Fullagar, like, oh my God, your bike, it was so hard. And she responded, yeah, I just didn't want to run with you. And I thought, I'm not your biggest problem of the day today. But it was funny that she said so.
So that's the confirmed result then. Gwen Jorgensen getting there by just 2 seconds in the end by out-sprinting Alyssa Koenig in the last 100 metres or so. Vermeulen follows up her gold in Tongyong with a bronze here. A couple of Brits in the top 6, Sian Rainsley and Jess Fullagar. Yuko Takahashi, a great effort on home soil, but still can't get that medal in Miyazaki. Erika Ackerland also with an eye-catching 7th place today.
Julian Vermeulen
follows up her fantastic gold in Tongyong with another medal. But a really good end to the season. Also finishing the season on a high. It's just a moment, wasn't there, towards the end where you thought maybe she'd just sneak ahead of Gwen Jorgensen, but the Americans' sprinting power was just too much in the end, and obviously she had to make up a 15-second gap as well, most of it on the second lap actually. Amazingly, it's her 5th World Cup win and her 8th podium since she came back into the sport less than 2 years ago.
コンサートションを行います。